In the year 753 BC, according to Roman legend, a city was born on the banks of the Tiber River. Twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, said to be sons of the war god Mars and raised by a she-wolf, founded Rome. Romulus became its first king after slaying his brother in a dispute over the city's walls. Whether myth or memory, this small settlement of Latin tribes on 7 hills would one day rule the known world. For over 2 centuries, Rome was a monarchy ruled by 7 kings. The last, the tyrannical Etruscan Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, was overthrown in 509 BC after his son's assault on a noblewoman named Lucretia sparked outrage. The Roman people expelled the kings and established the Roman Republic, a system of elected officials designed to prevent any single man from holding absolute power. 2 consuls shared executive authority, serving only 1 year. The Senate, composed of wealthy patricians, advised on polity. Plebeians, the common people, gradually gained rights through their own assembly and elected tribunes. This balanced government, combined with Roman discipline and pragmatism, set the stage for extraordinary expansion. Rome first unified the Italian peninsula through a mix of warfare and shrewd alliances. By the early 3rd century BC, it controlled central and southern Italy. But true greatness came through conflict with its greatest rival, Carthage, the wealthy Phoenician superpower of North Africa. The Punic Wars would transform Rome forever. In the First Punic War, Rome, originally a land power, built a navy from scratch and defeated Carthage for control of Sicily. The Second Punic War brought terror to Italy itself. In 218 BC, the brilliant Carthaginian general Hannibal crossed the Alps with war elephants and inflicted devastating defeats at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae, killing tens of thousands of Romans. Yet Rome refused to surrender. It raised new armies, wore down Hannibal through attrition, and eventually invaded Africa. In 202 BC, at the Battle of Zama, Roman forces under Scipio Africanus crushed Hannibal. The Third Punic War ended in 146 BC with the complete destruction of Carthage. Rome now dominated the Western Mediterranean. Victories poured wealth into Rome: gold, slaves, grain. But this success sowed the seeds of crisis. The Republic's institutions, designed for a small city-state, strained under the weight of empire. Wealthy elites bought up farmland, displacing small farmers. The poor flooded into Rome, creating urban unrest. Ambitious generals raised personal armies loyal to them rather than the state. Reformers, like the Gracchi brothers, tried to redistribute land but were murdered. Social wars and slave revolts, including Spartacus's uprising in 73 to 71 BC, shook the system. Power increasingly flowed to military strongmen. In 60 BC, 3 men formed the first triumvirate: the wealthy Crassus, the popular general Pompey, and the ambitious Julius Caesar. Caesar conquered Gaul, modern France, gaining immense wealth and the loyalty of battle-hardened legions. When the Senate ordered him to disband his army in 49 BC, Caesar defied them by crossing the Rubicon River, an act of civil war. He defeated Pompey and became dictator for life. On the Ides of March, 44 BC, a group of senators, fearing Caesar would crown himself king, assassinated him in the Senate House. They hoped to restore the Republic. Instead, chaos erupted. Caesar's adopted heir, his grandnephew Octavian, formed the second triumvirate with Mark Antony and Lepidus. They hunted down the assassins. But rivalry soon tore the alliance apart. Antony allied with the Egyptian queen Cleopatra, while Octavian positioned himself as the defender of Roman tradition. In 31 BC, at the naval battle of Actium, Octavian's forces decisively defeated Antony and Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra took their own lives the following year. Egypt fell to Rome. In 27 BC, Octavian returned to Rome and cleverly offered to restore power to the Senate and people. The Senate, exhausted by decades of civil war, instead granted him sweeping authority. They bestowed upon him the title Augustus, the revered one. He became Rome's first emperor while maintaining the outward forms of the Republic. He controlled the army, provinces, and foreign policy, but called himself Princeps, first citizen. Under Augustus, Rome entered the Pax Romana, a long era of relative peace and prosperity. He reformed the military into a professional standing army, built roads and aqueducts, expanded the empire to its natural frontiers, and patronized arts and literature. Virgil wrote the Aeneid, glorifying Rome's destined greatness. By the time of Augustus's death in 14 AD, Rome had grown from a modest village into a vast empire stretching from Spain to Syria, from North Africa to the Rhine. Its legions, laws, engineering, and culture would shape Western civilization for centuries. The Republic had died in blood and ambition, but from its ashes rose the Roman Empire, one of history's most enduring and influential powers. From humble beginnings on 7 hills to the masters of the Mediterranean.